Thank you. Mr. Speaker, we're here tonight to have an important conversation, a conversation that is long overdue, a conversation that is crucial to healing America's deep racial wounds. Our topic being the Confederate Battle Flag and why racial symbols matter. The Charleston 9 killings focused many of our attention on the significance, appropriateness, and bigoted history of this flag. In 2015, why do so many still revere a flag that tolerated the shackling of people because of their skin? A flag that allowed human beings to be counted as 3/5 of a person. A flag that was flown during lynching, the hosing of children, and one that symbolized a movement to deny education and equal treatment under our laws. 50 years since Selma, we think of the freedom riders, marchers, boycotters, protesters, and policymakers who pointed our nation in a more positive direction. They knew it was time to reject the traditions of the past. The Civil Rights Movement symbolized a quest of equality and a change in mood for America. Thousands from all backgrounds had the courage to join in peaceful protests, lunch counter sit-ins, and boycotts at the expense of being jailed, beaten, or killed. They did this for one nation and one flag. And in the way of these Americans stood those who believed in the perseverance of inequality, who believed in America of white and colored, an America of two flags, and the Confederate battle flag represented their America. Jim Crow America saw states that succeeded from the Union reacting to the growth of the Civil Rights Movement with the use of the Confederate battle flag as the representation of their resistant movement. In 1956, the state of Georgia incorporated the battle flag into its official state flag design. The movement continued into the 60s, where it met renewed and intensified opposition. Opposition that waved the Confederate battle flag in the name of continued racial oppression. In 1961, just 2 months after the sentencing of 9 students arrested for a lunch counter sit in the Rock Hill, South Carolina, the Confederate battle flag was raised over South Carolina State House during a centennial celebration of the Civil War's opening. That same year, in the neighboring Georgia, Charlene Hunter and Hamilton Jones are the first 2 African-American students to be admitted to the University of Georgia. Their admission only came after a court order sent from the federal court. 11 days after arriving on campus, Hunter and Jones were attacked by a mob of white rioters who threw rocks and bottles at them while waving the rebel flag. The attacks were so fierce that the dean of students suspended both Hunter and Hamilton for their own safety. Now, even with me highlighting this violence, we're told that the stars and bars are about heritage. That heritage, Mr. Speaker, is not so subtle a reminder to African Americans that they are less than. Maybe not 3/5 of a person, but still not equal. This is a reminder that there are 2 classes of citizens, and despite our Declaration of Independence clearly stating that all men are created equal, this is a reminder that there is a lesser class and will never be equal. But why are we honoring the heritage and flag of the hooded night riders of the Klan at our state houses and in this Congress instead of the flag of the freedom riders who died for a single, fair, and equal America? 2 years after Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his I Have a Dream speech before 600 civil rights marchers, including our friend and colleague, Congressman John Lewis, a different group of civil rights heroes were greeted by police officers in Selma, Alabama, proudly displaying the Confederate flag on the side of their helmets. These officers brutally beat the marchers, and their actions were a reminder that Dr. King's speech had not yet resonated in the hearts of those who needed to hear it most. But it was the undeterred resilience of the protesters who refused to back down and refused to resort to violence that persevered. It was the love, the respect, and mutual understanding that displayed what was a stronger symbol of strength, honor, and heritage than the Confederate battle flag. Mr. Speaker, we have come a long way since 1965, but we still have a ways to go. We must move forward. The needed progress, however, will not come if the federal government continues to provide American citizens with reminders of our hateful and oppressive past in a manner that legitimizes such hate. I am glad to host this important special order hour with my colleague, Mr. Payne from New Jersey, to talk about where we go from here and why we continue to give energy to symbols of hate and division. And with that, I yield to the kind gentleman from Newark, New Jersey, Congressman Donald